Hey YouTube, Peter here, Rolling Heights. Anyway, just want to show you guys how I'm doing this self-watering with pretty much recyclables that I have and some organic stuff that I have. Basically, I have this plant called an ashitaba, and it demands for a pretty big tote, so I decided to make myself a self-watering thing here, container here. This is an 18-gallon tote, and what I've done here was that first I measured where I want the water level to stop, and in this case it's about 2 inches. So I put a hole there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Get the autofocus. Okay, there. So I have the hole there for the drain, and basically what I did was that some people use gravel and then they put an overlay on it, and that's what they use to make the little filtration parts to where, you know, all the soil won't get saturated. But what I did here was that I used water bottles, and you know, I figure I have like maybe $1.50, if not $1.50 worth of recyclables here. I mean, if you live in other states, you probably don't have that problem. Over here in California, they are about a nickel each, so give or take, I'm not gonna get my money back on these, but hey, I'm making a self-watering container. And what I did was that I cut this pipe slightly at an angle just so that I could put it here as a little filler. And so basically the concept here is that whenever I'm feeding the plant, just put a water hose there, it'll fill up, and when the water starts coming out of that hole right there, then that's my indication that it's time to stop filling. And so what I'm gonna do, I have a little screen, so to speak, some kind of screen that I have scraps of sunshade. I'm gonna put it here in front of the drain hole so it doesn't get covered with soil, which I don't think it will anyway. But the whole purpose here is to have a self-watering container, so that basically the water is going to be below the surface, and whenever the soil gets dry, what's going to happen is that it's going to absorb the water, and then the roots are going to start feeding off of it. But also what I'm going to do, I have these coffee filters, because I do drink organic coffee. What I'm going to use that as kind of like an underlayment part right here. I'm gonna cover it all up, so like this. I'm just gonna keep layering it until I cover all this before I put the soil in. What's gonna happen here is that this is gonna act as some kind of an absorbent to the soil, kind of like a sponge, and at the same time it'll prevent the soil from getting too far into the bottom to where it's always wet. So this will kind of act like as a barrier, but at the same time, if the soil does start getting dry, it could just it has a sipper. That's basically a sipper. So that's what I'm going to do. And at the same time, these coffee filters, in time, it's going to biodegrade, and in which more than likely I will be pulling out that tree or that plant, the ashitaba plant that I'm planting in here to start off for the next. But again, guys, this is just my little experiment that I'm doing. I've seen other people where they use 2 totes, and then they put all these really nice pieces in here. But this right here, like I said, this tote right here has been hanging around in my garage, and you know, I'm just basically recycling it into my garden. And what I'm gonna do is paint this into like a brown color so that it kind of matches my yard. And you know, all this stuff was free. I mean, the water bottles, all I'm gonna do is not recycle them, but if I do decide in the future, I'm sure I could still recycle them, so that's not gonna be a problem. So yeah, so I'm gonna cover this up, and then I'm gonna put soil here, and then I'm gonna put the plant on top, and then I'm gonna fill it with water through here, and then when the water comes out there, anytime I want to keep filling it, that's basically my stopper, which is this drain. And that's it. You got your self-watering container. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, click a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions for me, please comment below. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching this. You guys, God bless, and have a nice evening or day. Thank you. Bye-bye.